have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like.
Whatever you like, with a great credit. Good evening, good evening. This is You and Your Credit. I'm your host, Remus Bowman, and we're on the New Orleans Talk Network. I try to come up with great information, different information about this subject, because there's so many different variations, so many things that can happen in the course of a person's life uh, when in dealing with their credit. Now, one of the things that most people are not aware of is that uh, your credit can change from moment to moment, because uh, anyone who has a contract with you, or if you have debt and obligations, those updates are being processed. Those updates are being processed continuously through a computer system. If you fail to make a payment on time, and you have an account with a credit card or a bank, on that anniversary date, your bank is going to electronically notify the credit bureaus of your missed payment. On the other hand, if you have an account and you've made the payment on time and it's the anniversary date for that particular credit card or obligation, they're also going to notify the credit bureaus that your payment has been made on time. More often than not, most people do not uh, realize what their anniversary date is on most of their loans, or especially on their credit cards. I'm going to suggest that if you have a credit card, that you pick up the phone and you call the credit card company and ask them what is the reporting date for your credit card. The reason for this is so that you won't make late payments. And if you make with most credit cards, if you pay them out uh, before the anniversary date or the reporting date, you'll also save on interest payments, because that interest, if you pay the complete balance out, then you won't have any interest payments for that month. It's a great way to save money on that obligation, because you never get. We're just trying to give you ideas on how to save interest payments on most obligations. A lot of times people will go out and they'll sign contracts to purchase certain things, and they don't look thoroughly for clauses or ways to get out of the contract or to pay off the contract. Because at the end of the day, more often than not, we're going into long-term agreements, and we're intending to stay there for a long period of time. But things do change rapidly, and as things change, we want to be able to make the adjustments and keep it moving. Uh, I live in New Orleans, and for the first time in my neighborhood, it actually flooded as a result of a rainstorm. I was at work. I was at Toyota. Uh, the skies were blue all over the city of New Orleans, all over the area itself, Jefferson and Orleans Parish. But in a certain communities, certain neighborhoods, it flooded. There's some serious things going on that need to be considered, because what's happening is they're moving all these pumping stations around, and I assume that's they're I don't know. It seems like they're making some bad decisions with this stuff, man. Because I've never seen it flood in my neighborhood as a result of a rainstorm. As a matter of fact, I was at home during Katrina, when Katrina happened, and we saw, of course, we saw all the water, and eventually it did flood the neighborhood. But for the most part, I mean, the storm, only flooded during the aftermath of the storm in the neighborhood I live in. It didn't actually flood while the storm was occurring. So it's kind of weird that, a minus rainstorm like what happened Saturday can put out, I don't know, 4 feet of water in my neighborhood, maybe a little more. When I attempted to go home, I had to wait several hours for the water to drain. Now, the there's a couple of things that need to be considered. A lot of people receive damage to their homes, and others receive damage to their automobiles. And frequently I speak about being in a position to keep it moving. Uh, if you received damage to your automobile, will you be in a better position to repair your vehicle and keep going? Or will you be in a better position to allow the insurance company to make your car a total loss and have you go out and purchase a new vehicle? This is something that we need to really think about, especially if at this time your credit scores change daily. You know, are you in a position where you can walk away from this car and have the insurance company pay off the debt and take on a new obligation to to replace the car? Because in essence, that's what you want to be doing. Now, what I'm going to suggest that you do is I'll be at Toyota all day tomorrow. Stop by and talk with me. Let's see if we can come up, if I can help you make a good decision as to whether or not you need to replace your car. I'm sure that we have a number of cars. By the way, we didn't get flooded in New Orleans East. How about that? I'm sure we have a number of cars on our lot that are more than suitable, and we've got some good deals on new cars especially. I think the Camrys have a $3,500 rebate on them right now. So if you're looking for a Camry, come by Toyota and come see me, and we're going to help you replace the vehicle that you've just taken a loss on. But would it be a smart idea to change vehicles at this time? Number one, do you qualify? Number two, uh, are you going to be able to get good interest rates? Are you going to qualify for some of the incentives? These are major questions that most people don't start out a day like we did on Saturday, expecting to have water in their automobiles. It's the same thing, same principle that happens if somebody runs into your car or if you uh, get involved in an auto accident. Are you prepared to replace that car? And this is a big question that a lot of people try not to deal with, but this is something we've got to think about consistently. Uh, Last week we talked about security, and we talked about LifeLock. I want to go back on that subject because I've got a couple of phone calls. One of my phone calls is from a close friend who listened to the show. He says, "Remus, I can't believe you admitted that you allowed that to happen to you. I do things for the better good. It's not just for me. I really did the show and told the story because I thought that it would help someone. If someone contacts you, if you're on the internet and you put in an application for a loan, and they send you a notice that you're approved, and then the guy tells you, we're going to send you, we're going to deposit this check into your account, and to verify that it's your account, and you go for that whammy, you or have just been ripped off. You can pretty much consider the fact that you've given these people your account number. They've deposited a fraudulent check into your account that is not going to be paid, and if they're asking you to send money back to them, They've used you. They've made you a party to a scheme to defraud your banking institution. And more often than not, that bank is going to want their money back. And because you participated in the scheme, guess who has to pay it? Wow. Did you just get caught in something unknowingly? You've been victimized twice now. You've been victimized by the guy who told you that you were approved and sent you this money. Then he gets you to take the money from your account and send it to him. So now you've been had. You've been taken advantage of. And this happens often in society. I was just on the phone a few minutes ago with a close friend. She works in a hospital, and and I was telling her about the show and what the show was about, and how some of the response that I had gotten, some of the phone calls that I gotten. A lot of times, people will contact me after the show because I'm pretty accessible. Matter of fact, if you'd like to speak with me, you can call me at 504-274-8117. That's my personal cell phone. Or if you'd like to have a conversation with me while I'm on the air, the number is 504-241-8255. Well, anyway, my friend was telling me that a friend of hers who she works with, as a matter of fact, she had two friends last week that got ripped off. Every 2.5 seconds, somebody is being taken advantage of, either through cyber electronics, through people or misinforming them and getting them to do things that are not legal and only trending to where they can make money off you who not knowing that it's the goal of that person to put you in a situation where you participate in some fraudulent activity. It happens all the time. This thing that my friend was just telling me about, I thought it was the weirdest thing, because what she said that somehow someone had attached their, I think it was a phone bill or electric bill, to her coworker's bill back in January. And I'm trying to make sure I remember exactly what she said. And she said that they had put this bill on automatic draft from this lady's account. That's interesting. Think about it. You have someone gets your account number, attach a phone or utility bill to your account, and put it on automatic draft, and you're making those payments unknowingly every month. That's pretty cool. That's a smart cookie who does something like that. Imagine it. They've gotten a copy of your statement. Somehow they got a copy of your checking account information. And they've used that checking account information to connect you to their bill. Boy, that's some awesome stuff. Every 2.5 seconds of every day, 24 hours in a day, every 2.5 seconds, someone is being taken advantage of by some means. But these guys come up with all these different scams. It's so hard to keep up with everything that's happening. That's why it's a good thing to have LifeLock. If I were you, and I purchased it. It's only $100 for a year. Now, we also have this product that you can find on youandyourcredit.com or youandyourcredit.us, and when I come back, I'll go into the product and I'll tell you a little bit about it. This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. We'll be right back.
I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like.
Questions about your finances, facts, and fishing? Join the New Orleans Talk Network and Dr. G, the Money Coach, on the Money Factor every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Hello and congratulations. You have arrived at the second half. I'm your host, Cinder Coleman Miller. Connect with us every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. on the New Orleans Talk Network as we discuss issues pertaining to the most exciting and prolific generation of our times, the baby boomers. So for information, resources, and booming entertainment, meet us at the second half, brought to you by the Boomers Lifestyle Network.
I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Hi, I'm Linda Lewis with Lewis Armstrong Family Services here live at New Orleans Talk Network. We're here every Thursday at 11 a.m. Come join us. Thank you.
Red roses too. You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like.
It's so difficult. It's so difficult to prepare yourself for all the things that could potentially happen to you. It's very hard. You just never know what's next. Sometimes I find myself, even being a person who studies this information, who's try to make the information available to everyone else, I find myself in a quandary sometimes. I'm trying to figure it out and how it applies to me, because everything that happens, it has to happen. You have to witness it. Somebody has to witness that. Whatever. What's the new bad thing that can happen to you now? And the point is that if something like this happens in your life, then you're not doing society a favor by, and a lot of people do this and say, "Oh man, I just got taken." I don't want anybody to know that I've been a victim of this thing. I think that's a bad idea. I think what you should do is you should make sure that I know about it so I can tell people. I want to tell people who it happened to. I'll tell people how to protect themselves. Because these things happen to bad things happen to good people all the time, and people were just trying to be happy. More often people are not trying to be in the middle of any type of madness. We want to, go our own way. Go to work and provide a reasonable opportunity for our families to, to be happy and secure, a roof over our head, food on the table, and everything in its place in order. And then there's this disruptor, this person or this thing that happens in our lives that creates adversity. A rainstorm, somebody hits you, hit your car, or anything can, all kinds of things happen in our lives, but it's not about the things that happen, it's about how we prepare for them. And if you go on the website, youandyourcredit.us, you'll find antidotes to most of these problems. A lot of times over the last few years, I've been doing the show for 3 years, we hardly ever talk about all the products that are available and we don't break them down. At some point in the near future, I intend to. I had a lady who just became a part of the program, and she told me. I spoke with her this morning. She says, Mr. Remus, I was up till 3 o'clock in the morning. I was so excited. I got going through all this information. There's so much information that can so many things that are available through this company that you didn't talk about. And here's the thing. This is the real point. If you get into a credit restoration program with us, you don't just get untrue or and incorrect information removed off your credit file. This program is a lot bigger than that. You get an email from the company. It has a website. You get LifeLock. You get Smart Credit. You get a lot of information that you can use to protect yourself, all for $89 or $88. That's pretty cool. Think about it. I was talking to a lady, last week, and she said she was with one of my competitors, and they only offered her credit restoration, and she was paying $135 a month. I'm like, $135 a month. And I looked at her credit report, and this company was only sending out letters on 2 negative accounts at a time. I looked at her credit report, and she had about 10. I said, if you're going to spend $35 at the rate that they're going about trying to improve your credit report, it's going to take you years. Think about it. With us, we will attack everything that's on your credit report that's derogatory, that is not yours, or that can be altered, can be updated. Sometimes you may be able to get updates from the lenders themselves. Give you an opportunity to have a good credit score. Well, I promise you, whenever I've talked to any lender and about giving me an opportunity to improve my credit, not one of them has been negative, except for one. One guy I talked to, I was totally surprised when he told me. He said, I don't want any of my customers to go through credit restoration. I don't want them to know about that. I was like, wow. But then when I found out that his interest rates was 22% and he was charging additional tariffs when you had a bad credit score, I understood why. His market was the guy that didn't know that he didn't have to do that. Not everybody has to have high interest rates. Right now, most of the manufacturers, because the 18s are coming out in the automobile business, you'll see. I was watching an ad the other day, and I think this company said that they had a truck that was coming that you could buy, and I think one company said that they were going to give you 15% off the MSRP. Another company comes out and says, well, we're going to give you $9,000 off the price of this car. Now imagine if you qualify for all these incentives, how that would really be a benefit to you. And in some cases, if you qualify for the incentives, you can still get low interest rates or even 0% on your interest rates. All you need to do is take a different perspective, take a second look, get yourself in a position where you qualify to walk into a dealership and purchase whatever you want, or walk into a mortgage company and refinance your home. They have these refinance programs available, but you gotta have a good credit score to do that. We've been able to help a lot of people to buy homes as a result of some of the things that we've been able to teach over the last few years. But it's up to you. It is. It's up to you. But first things first, you must improve your credit score. Go to youandyourcredit.com and youandyourcredit.us. Press the red button where it says improve your credit score. And above the red button, if you wanted to communicate with me, just send me your information and we will be happy to contact you back and give you the information you need to make better decisions. Is it time now for our second break? This is You and Your Credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. I'm your host, Remus Bowman, and we will be right back.
You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever.
We're back. Talk What You Know returns on Wednesday mornings at 8 a.m. We got a brand new co-host by the name of Bob B. And hey, that's me. Also, we got some new features. We're going to be giving away, have a weekly raffle of prizes. There are multiple ways for you to win, and there's a bevy of prizes. So we need you to come on back, join us on Wednesday mornings at 8 o'clock for Talk What You Know on the New Orleans Talk Network.
What's up, readers and shakers? It's your girl, Rhonda M. Lawson, sending you a personal invite to the Literary Lounge. Tune in to Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions each Wednesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time for the best in literary conversation. Each week, a different author will join us to talk to their most important readers, you. You can also call in to ask your own questions. So don't forget, each Wednesday at 7 p.m., join us in the lounge for Horizons with Meet the World Image Solutions. See you there.
Hello and congratulations. You have arrived at the second half. I'm your host, Cinder Coleman Miller. Connect with us every Thursday at 10 o'clock a.m. on the New Orleans Talk Network as we discuss issues pertaining to the most exciting and prolific generation of our times, the baby boomers. So for information, resources, and booming entertainment, meet us at the second half, brought to you by the Boomers Lifestyle Network.
I'm living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's golden, living my life like it's
Questions about your finances, facts, and fishing? Join the New Orleans Talk Network and Dr. G, the Money Coach, on The Money Factor every Monday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time.
Have whatever you like with a great credit score. I was just made aware of the fact that my good friend George Russell was on the line. George, are you there?
Yeah, hey, Mr. Remus,
What's that?
congratulations. I've been so excited to talk to you today. Listen, people, listen. With Mr. Remus Bowman and You and Your Credit Talk, collaborate with a bunch of smart lawyers and a bunch of senators to get the Credit Fair Act do better about reporting on the Credit Act. They took the top 5 things that people get charged in their credit, and they selected to get the first one took off. So as of right now, because of Mr. Remus Bowman and his collaboration with the lawyers and the senators, your credit score will get a boost because as of today, no longer the credit report from the doctor's office, the insurance, will be on your credit report. It won't count no more.
Wow.
So your collection account from the hospital bills are gonna be removed from your credit report. So if you don't know how, and if it doesn't show up on your credit report, do me a favor, contact Mr. Remus Bowman. What's that number?
504-274-8117.
And he'll make sure it happens for you. Hey, thank you. That's a good job, Mr. Bowman. That's a good job.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. You know, those hospital bills are killing people, man. They're driving those scores down.
When they did the research, it's the number one thing on your credit that causes you to have bad credit.
Wow.
But also, it's the number one thing that's misreported.
I agree.
So based on that alone, your group was able to get it done. Hey, work on the next one. Good for you. Keep working.
Thank you, brother.
If they don't know, if they want to see the spike, I suggest them call you, give you information, and you can dig into it for it and work it out for them.
I'm sure we can get that information taken off their reports relatively easily. I tell people all the time, if you have a low credit score, we can remove. It's a well-known fact that's 80% of all information that's being reported is reported incorrectly.
Misreported. Yeah, misreported. Yeah.
Yes, it's misreported. 80%.
Right.
And a lot of people are not aware of that. 80% of all the information. I had this lady in my office last week, and I promise you she had, I think, when I'm trying to remember, about 15 or 16 different items on her credit report. Her score was in the 400s. Now, let me ask you a question. This is not rocket science. It's not that difficult to understand. If you got 15 or 16 things on your credit report, 7 of those items are items that are being misreported. It's the difference in being a 600 or 650 beacon score and being a 450 beacon score.
Right.
I mean, it happens every day. It's it's really, really simple.
Listen, it's proven. This is not local. This went through Congress.
Right.
It's the law now. I show you it's a fact.
Hey, if you want to get the negative information removed off your credit report quickly,
call Mr. Remus Bowman.
Call me now. I love that. Remember that commercial that lady used to say, "Call me now."
Right.
You need to give me a call. You need to go on youandyourcredit.com and youandyourcredit.us, fill out the information, send me an email. Let's get you a good credit score. I mean, for the life of me, I just can't understand why anyone would hesitate. Not only will we get the information, the negative information off your credit report, we'll also put a security arm around you to keep people from stealing your identity and stealing your hard-earned money out of your bank accounts. This stuff can happen to anyone.
It's like swimming. You know, the first time you get in the water, you're scared. You're very scared. But you know, if you live in a place like New Orleans and Houston, which is running down here now, I know you guys got some water. You know you got to learn how to swim. It's the same thing. I know you're scared, but just get in the water. But now you're not getting in the water by yourself. You got a life vessel. You got Mr. Bowman with all the knowledge, the talent, the experience. Come on in the water. He's your lifeguard. Just get in the water. 1 feet. Just step on in there. 1 phone call. Just don't dive in. He's gonna grab your hand and walk you down in the water.
There you go. And I promise you, you won't regret it. It'll be the best decision, and it doesn't really matter where you live. You don't have to live in New Orleans. You can live anywhere in the country. The website's set up. We're ready to go. We got the companies. We got the backing of some major corporations that are ready to assist you and help you get a great credit score. You know, right now, it's a lot going on in the world. But if you want to be a part of the positive things that are happening, you got to have this knowledge, man. You got to put this tool in your toolbox. And if you know, they always say a carpenter can't build a home without a hammer. I promise
Hey,
you.
your auto insurance is take what you're paying for your auto insurance and minus 7%, and see what you can do with that money, because it'll be 7% cheaper if you have
Oh,
a great credit score.
yeah, with the right credit score, you do get to pay less for insurance, auto,
Hey,
home,
all that's money.
all that. You know, we're trying to give you an opportunity to have more for less. Think about it. More for less. If you're paying lower interest rates on your home, lower interest rates on your automobile, lower premiums on your car insurance as a result of having a good credit score, man, that could translate into a vacation. Think about it.
Well,
Or
it can translate into debt free.
absolutely.
So you got the option to take more for less, but the option I would take would be more for the same. I pay the same amount, but I'm paying less, so I'm paying something off.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You see, I made a double whammy. If I'm paying out $600 a month, I lower my credit score. Now I'm paying out $450 a month. If I continue to pay the $600, I'm paying that other $150 to pay something off.
Right. Paying off the principal on something.
So I took the money that I was giving to the finance company, reinvested back into myself, so I can become debt free. Same money.
That's what it's all about, brother.
Same money. We're not asking for no extra money. It's the same money you already spent.
Right.
Instead of paying on it for 30 years now, we're going to pay off in 20.
Right.
Instead of paying off in 3 years, now we're going to pay off in 30 months.
Imagine if you had a home, and I know that you know this already, George. If a person's buying a house, and I don't know, back a few years ago, most people who bought homes, they were getting 5 or 6% interest rates. Now imagine if you could take that same home, refinance those same mortgages, and get a 3%, or even if you're only getting a 4%. Imagine how many hundreds of dollars that you're going to be saving every month. Every month. And if you take that same money,
Thousands.
thousands.
Over the course of a period of long, it's thousands. If you got a rate for what they charge, and you roll on your finance charges, so they're gonna charge you into the price of doing business, and you got to stay in the house at least 3 to 4 years. And after that, you're making thousands for the same money.
And paying the house off a lot faster.
Very good.
You know, because
That too.
if you continue to pay that same note, even though your interest rates have gone down, now you're paying off your principal, and instead of a 30-year note, now you got a 15 or 20-year note, depending on the amount that you're paying towards the principal every month. There's just so much opportunity to make better decisions.
It all starts with a good credit score.
Everything starts with a good credit score. I like what I do, and I like to see the people who, I don't know if I told this story recently. Last week, I got a phone call from a lady that had been in my credit restoration program. Now, originally when she got in the program, it was over a year ago, so she still keeps up with me. She still contacts me occasionally. Hey, Remus, how you doing? Da, 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 da. And so the last time I saw her, she was at Toyota getting an oil change. And I said, well, I thought we were going to trade that car in and get you a new car. She says, no, I intend to take this car and give it to a relative and get a new car anyway. I said, well, when are you ready? She says, well, I'll let you know. Never happened. This has been over a year. Now, last week, someone ran into her car, and they considered it a total loss. Now, here's the good thing. It was a 2004 or 2005. It was a Toyota. It had 350,000 miles on it. And 350,000 miles, and this woman wouldn't give that car up. It was like a security blanket for her. And when I ran a credit report, instead of being a 450, now she's almost to 700. I say, man, you're pretty close to a 700 now. She says, I know that. I said, well, why? And I could tell. In looking at her credit report, I saw that she had just gotten a new credit card on back in December. Now you got to realize this was well over a year ago that I worked with her on her credit. So her life has been pretty good since she was able to get my program. And she got a credit card for a low-interest credit card for $3,500 from Capital One back in December. I'm like, man, you got this credit card. Life is good. When are you going to get now? She called me. I said, you never even told me that you had. Now, the one thing is that a lot of my customers will call me and say thank you. I said, you never even called me and told me thank you. She said, well, I'm telling you thank you now because somebody wrecked my car and I need to replace it. So I have an appointment with her tomorrow to replace that car that she would not give up with 350,000 miles, and she's got a great credit score. So she's gonna be.
I tell you what, she do have. She have great discipline.
She has what?
She have great discipline.
Oh,
okay?
Yeah.
That's why. Now, even though you fix a guy credit, they still got to pay their bills.
Right.
Still got to keep. She got great discipline.
Yeah.
If she'd have got a new car earlier, she might have fell behind on her bills.
Right.
Okay. She did good. As soon as she needed a car, she still contacted you.
Yeah.
Very good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the key to her story was her discipline. She still paid her bills on time. After her credit became repaired, she did not mess it up. She kept paying
and it's
like
been
she
over
should
a
have
year.
been in the first beginning.
Yeah.
She took her second chance and took advantage of it. A lot of times you think when you get your credit report you still don't have to pay. That's not true.
And
it's just a jump start over.
Yeah, I've seen some people who've allowed themselves. Now, something like I said, bad things happen to good people, but there occasionally, and it's not that often, because most of the people I know that once they get that credit score up, don't ever want to go back to that twilight zone of having bad credit. They will fight it with tooth and nail. Say, man, I know better now. If I knew then what I know now, this never would have happened to me. All right, hey guys, it's time for our final break on the New Orleans, Georgia. I hope you're gonna hang around for a little bit.
All right.
You'll be there. You and your credit on the New Orleans Talk Network. I'm your host, Remus Bowman. We'll be right back.
You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever.
Soul food. And then there's food for the soul. At a time where we live to eat, the Praline Connection restaurant serves up recipes that reach back into days long gone. You know, the kind of meals your mama cooked up for Sunday dinner. Fried chicken with macaroni and cheese and candied yams, homemade meatloaf with garlic mashed potatoes and string beans, or Nolan's filet gumbo. That's the real soul you get only at the Praline Connection restaurant, located at the Kona, Chalmers and Frenchman Street in the Marinade.
This is Remus Bowman. I want to invite you every Monday at 12 o'clock live for You and Your Credit. You can call in, you can ask me questions, Believe me, I've got most of the answers for you. We're going to help you get a good credit score. We're going to open doors for you to have an opportunity to be successful and pay low interest for your automobile, your home, your credit cards, everything that you buy. We're going to put you on a great path to have a successful future. Send me your request for information. I'll be glad to answer your question. Every Monday at 12 o'clock, join me from 12 to 1 Monday afternoon for You and Your Credit, originating from New Orleans Talk Network.
You can have whatever you like. I said you can have whatever you like. Yeah, baby, you can have whatever
You can have whatever you like with a great credit score. And I promise you, a great credit score is obtainable. Anything less than a 601 is a poor credit score, everybody. If you got less than a 601 credit score, you're going to pay high interest rates. 601 is poor. It's an F. It's a failing score. 601 or lower. Credit scores start at 350, goes up to 850. And believe it or not, I've seen some people reach the pinnacle, 850, perfect scores. In fact, it's so weird because I've actually seen people with a couple of points over 850. I was totally surprised because I didn't know it was possible. Now, Georgia, you there? Well, my good friend obviously must have hung up. I just want to go into this one last thought. We've got a very short window of time left, but there's this option on youandyourcredit.com called Smart Credit. Now, if you go on Smart Credit, you can fill that out. It's $144, I think it is, a year. But if you do the Smart Credit service, you get credit restoration, and that's for a year. This is a year. You get help assistance with your credit restoration. You also get LifeLock, and you can you can pull your credit reports frequently, and you can get your credit scores, actual credit scores. Now, I don't mean to, be negative about Rental Karma. I think Rental Karma does a great job for most people. They are, they're not giving actual credit scores. What they're giving is called a Vanguard score, which is a different type of scoring system from an Isaac score. Isaac score is what everybody uses, guys. You go to the bank and they pull your credit. They're looking at an Isaac score. They're not looking at a Vanguard score. You're hardly ever going to see your credit score the same with Credit Karma as you will when you go into a bank or a car dealership to make a purchase, because it's a totally different scoring system. Isaac score, Vanguard score. Vanguard score is a new type of scoring that Credit Karma and a couple other companies are using. But when you purchase your actual, or when a bank actually purchases your credit score, even though these credit scores are coming from, I think it's Experian and Equifax on Credit Karma. It's two of them. But they're still not giving you your Isaac score. They're giving you a Vanguard score. So that's a totally different score system than what most companies are using. As a matter of fact, recently I was looking at some information, and they said that less than 2,500, I believe it was, actual companies actually use Vanguard scoring. Now, the United States is a very large country, and there's millions of businesses. Yeah, millions of businesses, and only 2,500 actually use a Vanguard score. That's not a big penetration. That's not even 1%. There's a very small penetration. But I've got to commend Credit Karma because they've brought a lot of information to the table that a lot of people are very thankful to have. And their scoring system isn't exactly a good scoring. It's not the correct scoring system that everybody uses, but you can also review your credit reports on there, and that's a good service to have, and it's free. Now, but they don't. It's not a service, a security service, so they're not going to keep someone from stealing your identity, or they're not going to keep you from being ripped off and put a money back guarantee against on their product. They're not going to put assign professional credit personnel to remove incorrect information from your credit report. They're not going to do that. All that stuff's done by LifeLock and by the small credit feature that we use on youandyourcredit.com. If you go on youandyourcredit.com, you'll find some great products. If you need a credit a credit card, you can also get one of those on You and Your Credit. Now, I've been noticing that there's a lot of companies that are sending people out these debit cards. They're not credit cards, people. They're debit cards. Debit cards do not report to credit reporting agencies. You need to know that. When a Blue Dot sends you a credit card, a debit card in the mail, it's not going to report. It's not going to report to the credit reporting agencies. So you need to get an actual credit card. If recently we went through the flood, and I bet you one of the first things people need to know is when you go through this process, now the insurance company may say, well, we're going to let you have a rental car. But then when you call the rental car agency, they say, whoa, wait a minute. You got to have a deposit in order to get the rental car. Not just that. They want you to have a major credit card. Now, why would you wait until something like this? Now, nobody would know that it was going to flood throughout the New Orleans area on Saturday. But our objective is to prepare ourselves for what could potentially happen. Are you prepared for what could potentially happen? It's been a great show. I'm glad that I was able to I'm glad I was able to produce and bring some valuable information to the table. I hope that everyone will take my advice. Go on youandyourcredit.com, get the credit card, get the smart credit app, get you some LifeLock, get your credit straightened, press the red button, improve your credit. youandyourcredit.com. It's a great product. Companies are rated by the Better Business Bureau. If you press any of those buttons once you open that app, you'll see a blue insignia at the top of all of our products that tells you, and you press that. If you press the insignia, the Better Business Bureau information will appear, giving you the credit rating information on these companies. Don't be taken in by fraudulent companies saying that they know how to get your credit straight. Use a company that's been around for a while. Try United Financial Services. Great company. I've been with them for 3 years. I have not seen one person come back to me and say, hey, man, that didn't work for me. If you use this product properly, I guarantee you that it'll work for you. By the way, you never get a second chance to make a first impression. my good friend George Russell, First Impression Custom Clothes out of Houston, Texas. We want to thank you for joining us today on Monday. It's You and Your Credit with Remus Bowman, your host. Thank you. Have a great day.
You can have whatever